Yes, you have read that title correctly. It is time to get angry. The more that I motivate people, the more that I shoot these kind of videos, I realize that, listen, there is a disconnect between motivation and what's really going through people's ears. And the main thing that disconnects motivation for actually motivating a person is okay, the motivator is passionate, but if the person that's hearing the motivation is passive, something is wrong. So I had to do this video to say it is time to get angry. My personal feelings when it comes to people that I've motivated throughout the years. This is not my first thought. I've been doing this for years. I find that people nowadays, 2023, are not even angry enough. You're not mad enough. Your situation don't upset you enough because something is going through your head that makes you a little naive to the truth that this is a emergency 911 situation in your life and in my life. If you look at the times we in, uh, somebody needs to be a lot have a little more passion, a little more something, when it comes to making the changes in your life that are necessary. And I found that, listen, I wrote this down, that if we want to provoke change, somebody has to get to a place where you just simply just had enough, man. You just simply had enough. Now, I am a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ, and coming up in Christianity, being in that environment, I found something to just be just blatantly, just embarrassing in a lot of instances that we will hype up this whole big thing about going out, taking, territory and doing this or whatever and whatnot. And we're going to go and do this. And it's like it's this big hurrah, but when it's time to actually go into the field, go into the world to actually make that happen, somehow it fizzles out. Everybody disappears. Everybody's a no-show. And then we reconvene again to hype up the same thing that we never going to do anything about. So there's many instances where I can plead my case. Now I can build a case on it, but the fact of the matter is, I was raised to, in a sense, in a belief system which Jesus is not passive, but many times people who are followers of Christ allow themselves to be passive because of what's going on between our heads, how we are thinking about the situation. And I'm not trying to tell you to think like me. I'm just saying there's many times I've been in environments where I should have been more passionate, more angry, because I had all the information. It wasn't the fact that you were going out and you didn't have the information, you didn't have the capability. I had all of that set up. It was just a matter of just pulling the trigger, just simply just saying that is it. I'm not waiting on anybody. I'm not trying to get anybody on my team. If it's just me, I'm going to do it. This is the attitude we have got to have in 2023, because if we don't, there is like where the world is going. Many of us are going to be left behind in a lot of ways. This ain't the time to stay stuck, in a sense. So let me prove my point. So when I'm creating this lesson, I realize that, listen, if somebody don't get to a place where they just had enough, you can't provoke change. There's many motivators that make thousands, millions of dollars off of people that they know that is never going to respond to their motivations. They're never going to go and do anything with it. It's going to be a big hurrah moment, and then it's going to fizzle out, and everybody go back to their hole. Everybody go back to their places, and never make the changes that they make. So listen, I am not naive to know that the people that I'm talking to right now, I'm probably a bit intense with you or whatever. And listen, I am purposely trying to be confrontational with you because I'm trying to shake you to get you to see that, listen, There are some serious changes that you and I need to make. And there is no motivation out there to try to make you do it. You have got to look at the things that you do not like about your life and say, I am so sick of this. I'm not doing this for another year. I am not going through this for another year. It is not God's will for me to spend 40 years suffering over this one thing, if I can help it, what I'm saying? It's not God's will. He don't get no glory out of that. I mean, it's like, what are we talking about, man? But anyway, that's Christian lingo, what I'm saying. But let me come back just a neutral vein. There's three main issues many times that I have when it comes to people. Three main issues that I have with people in general. Many problems I have, just the issues I have. Number one, people sometimes have more bark than their bite. I find being a motivator, a speaker, a preacher for years. This is not my first go around with people. I've been motivating and mentoring people, been speaking before people, since I was 15 years old. And the main chord that runs through it all, people have more bark than their bite. There's many of us right now, many people right now, there are some things that you should have done years ago. And it's 2023 and you still ain't even approached to even doing anything. I don't know what you waiting on, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what sign, what wonder you waiting on. But listen, you are a person that's got more bark than the bite, man. Listen, you got more bark than the bite. This is the issue that I have because I'm on this end and I'm opening up my heart to motivate people, to really inspire them, to get them going, to help them to reach higher ground, that type of thing. But what I realize is that if I am passionate on my end and you're not angry on your end, there's a disconnect. It's only fluff. It's only fluff. It's a concert that you're going to celebrate in the moment, in the environment of the concert, and you're going to leave and you're going to go back to how you were. And 2023 is going to be same as 2023, 22, 21, 20, and 19. As far as that, it's going to be the exact same thing. This is the problem. One of the problems that I have with people, they got more bark than the bite. Okay, the next one. People will start something and fizzle out as soon as they hit a rough patch. People would start something. They would get their New Year's resolutions. They would get their goals. They would get these things, these grandiose things that I'm going to do. Now, they would get started on it. But the moment that you hit some insecurity, the moment that you hit some rejection, the moment that you don't have the fan base and the support people behind you, cheering you on, the moment that you hit a rough patch, you fizzle out. You fizzle out. My problem with people is, listen, you have got to be the driving ship of your own motivation. You got to understand that, listen, you're motivated because you see the solution. You see the vision. You know how to solve it. You know what needs to be done. So if you know what needs to be done, release everybody else from expectation of being there for you. Because many people, they'll start something, have a great start, have great momentum, then they'll fizzle out the moment that they hit a rough spot. Rough spot. They get to the gym and they hit a plateau. They do their weight loss goals and they hit a plateau. You know what I'm saying? It's always a rough spot where people just fizzle out. And there's no motivating them back. There's no words to say. It's like, and then when you want to say to them the actual words they need to hear, you come off too aggressive. You come off too judgy. You come off all of these different things. And it's just like, hey, the reason why you're not continuing in this path is because of insecurity, rejection, those types of things that are just fizzling up, that's making themselves to be bigger than what it is. And if you just call it what it is, we can move on and go to higher ground. But this is one of the problems. This is one of the problems I have with people now. Listen, I'm being aggressive for a reason, and you can continue to watch this if you want to. If you don't, hey, I totally understand. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right here because I love you enough to tell you the truth to your face. Okay, the last one. Sometimes people are delusional in thinking that they have plenty of time. Sometimes people are very delusional in thinking that you have plenty of time. I don't care what age you are. You do not have as much time as you think you do. You do not have as much time to get it done as you think you do. You don't know how many sunrises you're going to see. You don't know how many sunsets and moons you're going to see. You don't know that. But in your mind, you think that you can always do it somewhere down the line that, hey, you know what, I'm going to get on it, soon enough. We think this, and it's delusion, man. It is delusion. You cannot motivate that out of a person if they don't address it. If the person don't know that they're delusional, only thing motivation is doing is just piling on top of the delusion. When many motivators, they would hear a person recite back to them whatever affirmation that they said to the person, and they like, oh my God, you got it. No, if you're not doing it, then you don't know. The fact that you are doing it, that you are walking in obedience, shows that you understand the instruction of obedience. If you're not walking in it, you don't understand what was said. Somehow there was a disconnect somewhere. And I know this feels very preachy, very judgy. Hey, listen, I totally understand. You can stay for the rest of it, or you can click off here. I'm still going at it because I love you too much not to just pour this hype on your foundation, and you're gonna be this and you're gonna be the next. It's like, man, when are we gonna get true motivation that speaks to the heart of people, that calls them out of fear and reminds them that courage is in the face of fear? Don't be what we preaching about fear for. We need to tell them, hey, stand up, look at fear. Courage happens when fear shows up. Do you understand what I'm saying? But see, listen, I'm gonna dial back just a little bit. I'm gonna pull back on the dial just a little bit. There are some strategies I want to talk to you about in 2023. If you really want to get angry, if you really want to do something about making a change, you want to provoke change in your family, in your finances, in your faith, in your community. If you really want to do something that will get respect, that would be noticed, that will make you feel good about you, that will give you the confidence to really push back depression and insecurity and all that. If you really want to step into that kind of thing, all right, there are some steps I just want to share with you. The first one, I want you to take out a sheet of paper, and I want you to make a list of all the problems you can think of on this sheet of paper. And even if you got to use the front and the back, all the problems right now in your life that are pressing issues, all of them, write it on this sheet of paper. There's a reason why I'm doing this. Write it on this sheet of paper. Because what I found growing up as a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ in Christianity is that many times we recite our problems as a generality. Whenever there is in some area, oh, it's the enemy. Okay, it's in this area. Okay, it's the enemy. It's like, who is the enemy? I mean, everything is so general. You know what I'm saying? There's no specific thing. I mean, listen, if I got a problem, you can't just give me no general summation, to make me feel a sense of security or feel better. I mean, what enemy are you talking about? But that's the environment that I grew up in, that everything was the enemy, man. It was just so general. Writing things down on this sheet of paper makes it specific. You got to put a face to fear. Fear has got to have a face. Rejection has got to have a face. You know what I'm saying? Whatever issue that you're dealing with, it has got to have a face in order for you to have courage to deal with it. Now, when it comes to the God thing, this is what I believe as a servant of the Lord Jesus Christ. It's Jesus that gives me the strength to stand up to my Goliath. It's Jesus that gives me strength to stand up to Goliath. It's Jesus that gives me the insight to take my sling and go and get 5 smooth stones and go run out there to face Goliath. Jesus himself is not going to go and face the Goliath. He gives me the strength to face Goliath. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like most people have this uh, conception that, it's God is going to do everything. It's like, yes, God is going to do God's part, but he puts strength in you for you to do your part. All right, so you writing on that sheet of paper? Hey, good. Let's move to the next one. You're going to circle all the high priority problems on that sheet of paper. All of the high priority ones. You're going to circle those. The reason why I want you to circle them is because whatever ones that are the highest priority, that is the one that if you attack that first, that will give you an influx of courage to fight all the small ones. If you attack the big ones, you'll realize the small problems, oh, they're nothing. But if you attack the small first, you will find that you don't have the something that you need to go and deal with those big problems, because you're gonna realize how much bigger they are than your small problem. No, go fight the big ones first. Go deal with those first in whatever kind of way that you can. Go deal with them first. You got that? So you're gonna get the sheet of paper, you're gonna write down all the problems so we can put a face to the problem. Then you're gonna circle all the high priority problems. Then what you're gonna do, this is what I want you to do. Now, don't let yourself off the hook. Don't let yourself get away from under that pressure. Yes, a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts are going to come up to your mind. A lot of them are going to come up. But you remember what I said? It's the Lord that gives me strength to fight Goliath. It's not in my strength, but it's the Lord that gives me strength to go and fight my giants. He gives me strength. So he's going to give me what I need to go and fight. So staying under that pressure means that I am staying in a place where I'm ready to receive the strength. I'm not backing down. I'm not putting my head in a hole. I'm not being delusional, but I'm saying, Father, I am going to deal with this in 2023. I'm not going to back up. Even if it's just me, even if I look crazy, I'm just not going to back up. You'll find that the Lord will put a strength on you that you would never known in your life. He will put something on you to fight that giant in your life. Okay. So you're not letting yourself off the hook. Now, quickly attack 2 of the big problems on that list. Quickly attack. Find 2 of them. Quickly attack it in some kind of way. Now, I'm not saying attacking that you're going to attack it in most case scenarios. Hey, you won it after the first punch. It may be a lot of punches that you do. But listen, when you quickly go and attack it immediately, you will find that fighter in you. You will find that thing in you, man, that's just scrappy, man. You will find that something, man, that's just like, that knowing, man. See, this is something in you, man, that motivation a lot of times can't reach that, man. This is something this is the indwelling of something that is in you that is meant, man, for when times of trouble that you stand up, man, because God created you to be strong in his way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like attack 2 of them in whatever way that you can. Whatever way that you can. Whatever strategy that comes to you to attack it, attack it. Attack it. Keep attacking it. And as you have this momentum, you'll realize that the interesting thing is that when a person attacks the things that's provoking fear, provoking insecurity, provoking rejection, and all this stuff, all of a sudden you get this clarity in your mind back. You get this peace in your heart back. Even if the fight is not over, you start getting these things back. Why? Those things were shut down because it was shrouded by fear. It was shrouded by I can't do it. It was shrouded by I don't have the money. It was shrouded by I don't have the support. It was shrouded by a lot of things that you just had to quickly move past and get your mind right and see that, man, in a season where it's time to fight, the worst thing you can do is try to be at peace. It's a dangerous thing to be at peace in wartime, a dangerous thing. And for many of us, 2023 is a season where we have got to just run as fast as we can, attacking it, because there's a higher level that is calling. But the fact of the matter is, it will be only those that fight for it. Some things have got to be taken by force. Some things have got to be taken by force. Hey, my name is Starsky Inspires. This is Middle Class Mindset. Hope you like this video, like and subscribe. Hey, if you're here, see me down in the comments. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me what you're going to fight this year so that I can be praying for you, that I can be supporting you, being there for you as I can. So I hope this video touches you. I hope it shakes you to the core. Even if it offends you, I hope it did something to make you look at your situation and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I have had enough of this cycle and I want my new season. If you feel that way, hey, I'm already proud of you. I'm already proud of you. You got this. Until the next episode, I'll see you later.